Hey, how you been?
Hey, hey, hey. It is Astronomy Daily Live, and it's 2 hours UTC, and it's time again to gather together the growing circle of friends. Howdy, howdy. Hey there, Bobby. I see you in the panel. You just popped on. Ooh, major noise.
Hey, what you been up to?
Nothing much, but you've got feedback and nasties. I'm going to mute you. There we go. Woo! So Bobby has come in with a bang, and so have I. So hey, everybody. Nice to see everybody there. I'm going to pop open my chat. Tom is there. Hey there, Tom. Uncle Bill is in the chat as well. Nice to see you again there, Uncle Bill. Yeah. Uncle Bill, you said it all. So I've got the coffee tonight, a little bit of coffee. It's nice and hot here, so cheers to coffee. And I've got the hydrogen hydroxide again. Same stuff that's on the moon. Same stuff that's on the moon, except you know, in maybe a little colder form. So yeah, Bobby. Anytime that you want to check your sound, feel free to. No problem at all. Just yeah, because I know that you're working with some hardware and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, feel free to do that. No worries at all. So let's see. So yeah, had a great time yesterday watching Skylias's live stream with Fraser Cain. They were doing some live telescope observing, and yeah, that was epic, right? It was really fantastic. I was watching the viewer count, and I saw it get up to around like 4,900 or so. It actually might have gotten more. I don't know what the max was, but yeah, you know, that's exactly the kind of thing that both Skylias and Fraser are trying to do, is get these big crowds and everything, and they definitely accomplished that. So yeah, it was you know, quite an achievement, and you know, they were really you know, throwing lots of data back and forth and everything. So I'm getting a lot of feedback, Bobby, but that's about it. I think I'm hearing me in sort of a robot voice.
Beyond control with that. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm beyond control.
Yeah, consider this a test bed, so no worries at all. It's a little bit of a distraction, but you know, I totally understand that, you know, you've got to experiment these kinds of things, and you know, we are casual and fun here, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But it is pretty distracting. So cheers to distractions.
That's one, too.
I can hear you a little bit, but actually I can hear me even louder. My voice is coming in sort of a robot voice, and it's about 10 times as loud as yours. So while we're messing with this, I want to welcome everyone in, all those who are watching this later, not live, because I know that there are quite a few, you know, who come in later and watch this. because the time isn't exactly good for everybody, and I know that, and I appreciate that. That's a pretty distracting background sound, Bobby. I was watching it on my smartphone here, and it's yeah, it's it's pretty loud. I can barely hear you at all. Hey, why don't we do this after the live stream? We have the post show. Let's work on that a little bit then, because yeah, we really need to get your sound tuned in, dialed in. So let's work on that post show. And for now, I guess just go ahead and mute yourself unless you want to say anything, and feel free to chime in anytime, right? I'm not trying to knock you out or anything. So it's just the feedback is pretty loud, pretty distracting, and everybody wants to hear my beautiful voice, right? So cheers.
So, Carson, can you hear me or no?
Just barely. You're really faint. I mean, I've got you turned down a little bit, but if I turn you up, then that feedback's going to be really loud, and it already is like incredibly loud.
Yeah. How about now?
You're better, but it sounds like the feedback is louder too. Yeah.
For the Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah. We'll mess with this post show. We'll get it. No worries. So for now, I'm just gonna knock you out. Bam. Bam. The Bam Hammer, as Rick Beato, who has a great YouTube channel. Rick Beato, Beato. He calls himself the Ban Hammer because if anybody in chat, right, steps out of line at all, he just bans them. He just bam, like that. He just knocks them out, right? I don't have to do that yet, but yeah, let's work on this afterwards because yeah, definitely need to get your sound working. So yeah, Skylias's live stream last night was really awesome. Fraser was just a machine, right? I mean, he was he got into this mode where he would take an image, right? Sort of process it a little bit, send it to Skylias, okay? And as soon as he sent this image to Skylias, he would slew to the next object, right? And it was really cool, to be able to see the telescope moving and everything. It was really awesome. They have a camera inside of the observatory, right? So you can watch the telescope slew. And so while everybody was looking at the image that he just took, he'd be taking the next image, right, of like the next object, and they got into a rhythm where it was just really great, and yeah, I'm actually going to go through some of the images here because yeah, I like to share all things astronomy. So yeah, absolutely. Andy, nice to see you in the chat too. Hope everything's well over there. Cheers. Let's see. Man, I've got a choice, and it's like coffee or HOH. It's like, I I think the coffee, because it's rapidly cooling down. So cheers. I think, and Uncle Bill, maybe you can help with that. Does Skylias have like a universal invite link that you could put up on the chat? Because yeah, that'd be cool. And then also her Twitch channel is just twitch.tv/Skylias. That's all it is. So yeah, easy enough to find that. Hopefully, hopefully. So yeah, you know the um, uh, so I think that they definitely achieved what they wanted to achieve, and that was, you know, just sort of see how this went. And I think it went really, really, really well. Now, for me, right, it was a little too fast paced, and uh, you know, it would have been nice, at least for me, right, you know, to focus on the objects a little bit more and talk about the objects a little bit more. And I think the only thing that really, really was driving me crazy, was driving me really, really crazy, was that Skylias was switching between what's it called? Space Engine, which is sort of a simulated thing. It's sort of like Stellarium. But she was switching between views of objects, simulated views of objects inside of Space Engine or whatever it's called, to the actual images that Fraser was taking, and I'm thinking, for somebody who is completely new, right, has never ever seen anything at all, that might have been really confusing, right? Because, you know, she's flipping in between these things, and, you know, many times they were showing like a Space Engine picture and saying, here's the latest image off the telescope. And it's like, oh man, no. So that was really the only really annoying thing. And you know, I mean, this is their thing. So you know, I'm not saying, you know, to change that at all. I'm just saying, for me, that was a little bit distracting, because you know, for somebody who is completely new and has never ever seen any of this stuff ever, right? I would think that that would be a little bit confusing. So yeah. But, you know, cheers to confusion. You know, confusion isn't a bad thing. It's just you know, for somebody new, it's like, you know, what's this? What's that? You know, why are they different? You know, I don't know. Space Engine, yeah, that's what it's called. But yeah, I mean, this is her thing. So you know, don't change, Skylias. Do your thing. Uh, just for me, that's how I viewed that. So let's go over there and take a look. I've got one more criticism, which I just want to point out. Like I said, you know, I like to look at things a little bit hard, um, and I'm absolutely certain that Fraser realized what I'm going to point out. Yeah, and you know, this is the first time they will work all that out. That, you know, that's why I say it's like, you know, this isn't a criticism at all. It's just, you know, things that things that I sort of noticed that were sort of you know making me a little bit nuts. And that was really the only thing that was really driving me insane, was that. It's like, don't show this and then that and then this and then that. It was a little bit too much. Anyway, so I'm going to share my screen and let's look at it, at least at a few of these, because really, really nice, right? So they started with Alberio, which is a binary star in the constellation of Cygnus. And like I was saying, I don't know, a couple of live streams ago, if you've never seen this visual binary star before, it is stunningly beautiful, right? Because of the differences in color, right? This brighter star is this golden, orangey yellow, and then right next to it, right, is this blue sapphire-y star, right? So it's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pair, and the colors are just absolutely striking, right? And this does it pretty good justice too. This is pretty good, right? I mean, in terms of the colors and stuff, it did a good job there. So you might recall that actually I was talking about this system. Can't really call it a system anymore. Just the other day, because with Gaia, right? We now know that this star, the brighter one, is actually closer to us than this star by a pretty significant amount. I think the parallax here was somewhere around like 9 milliarc seconds, and this one was around 7. So, we'd have to do the math, to figure out exactly what the distance difference in distances is. But this is not a true binary system. It just so happens that from our point of view, it sort of lines up, right? But a beautiful, beautiful pair regardless, right? But in a few thousand years, it's not going to look like that anymore, right? It's not going to be a binary star anymore. They will have moved, right? So very, very cool, though. Very awesome. Let's see what they do next. M13 was next, and they did a couple shots of this. Let's see here. So yeah, that was their first shot of it. Very, very nice. Very nice. So the criticism that I have here, and as I said, this is just a really, really light one, is that they really need to work on their focus, right? These stars are all out of focus. So it's still absolutely stunning, right? I mean, absolutely stunning, gorgeous, right? So I'm not going to take anything away from that at all. So absolutely fabulous, but they need to work on their focus a little bit. No big deal. No big deal. So here's a little wider view of exactly the same object, Messier 13. And in this view, they actually got this little galaxy here too, right? Now this galaxy, of course, is in the background, right? M13 is inside of our galaxy, right? I mean, it's part of our galaxy. But there's this nice little galaxy here that, again, they just so happen to line up a little bit, and so you get to see that. So, the fact that they're seeing this galaxy with a pretty small scope, right? I think they said it was 127 millimeter f6.2 that they had some kind of focal reducer on, probably, you know, like a factor of 2 or so. So yeah, you know, like a 330 millimeter focal length. So yeah, a nice wide field of view. But anyway, you know, the fact that they were able to see this guy with a pretty short exposure. I don't remember how long the exposure was there. Not too long though. I mean seconds, right? And you know, the moon was out too. You know, the moon is you know, getting near full. So you know, it was out and it was bright. And what that does is that has the effect of making the background sky brighter. So being able to see, you know, faint objects like that, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. So yeah. And you know, the tracking here is pretty good, right? Pretty good. You know, these stars are pretty round. Again, you know, work on the focus. That's all. No worries though. So they looked at the Ring Nebula, Messier 57, and that turned out really nice. You can actually see just right in the middle there, you can see the central star, right? And that's a white dwarf star. But here's where you can really start seeing that these stars are all sort of out of focus. Now, some of that has that's got to do with, you know, the seeing conditions. Maybe the conditions weren't exactly great, but I'm thinking that this is a focus thing. I'm not going to say much more about the focus, but yeah, you know, the tracking here is pretty good. I'm coming in a little bit close to see, and yeah, you know, those stars look pretty round, so not too bad. And of course, the ring has some beautiful color to it, right? Awesome color. And again, you know, this was a pretty short exposure too. So, you know, with a moon, so awesome, absolutely gorgeous. Let's see, I'm gonna catch up on the chat here too. Oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you know, they were doing a great job too. Yeah. Well, Uncle Bill, those Paramounts, I've actually used those too, and they are absolutely fantastic. If I could have a Paramount, I would, but a Paramount, at least the ones I worked with are thousands and thousands of dollars. They're expensive pieces of equipment, but they are awesome. They are awesome, and they track really well. I mean, as long as you have a good sky model, they'll track really well. So yeah, I'm not surprised. You know, 20 minutes, easy peasy. So here's M101, the Pinwheel Galaxy. There's actually a little guy next to him here too, and here's one up here. I don't know if this is a galaxy. Not exactly sure what that is. Wow, I'm still getting a lot of feedback, Bobby.
I don't know. I'm beyond control with that. I'm beyond control.
That's okay. It's out of Bobby's control. Gorgeous galaxy. And, you know, this was a longer exposure, so you can start seeing, you know, they're starting to get a pretty bright sky here. Pretty bright sky. And Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a galaxy behind there or some kind of a planetary nebula. Not quite sure. Quite sure. So here's the Whirlpool Galaxy, M51. Yeah, that's nasty, Bobby. That is wicked. So again, you know, this is really, really, really awesome. For the size of the telescope it is and all that. Absolutely fantastic. You can see lots of details in here and everything else. Really, really nice. These two galaxies are interacting with one another. Yo.
Hey, I didn't see you off that time for that stayed until around midnight local, and then I just hit the bed.
Say that again, Bobby. I can barely hear you.
I didn't stay up long enough. I stayed up until midnight local, and I went to bed.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. I actually exited early too. So yeah, I don't know how long they went, but you know, they went for a little while. At least another hour, I think, after I left. But anyway, very, very cool.
It's very good how he actually did it. Well, he did a good job.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know, Fraser has been practicing, so you know, he sort of had the drill down, and so yeah. I mean, you know, he's really, really good at this stuff, right? I mean, he's a pro in terms of this. You know, he learns things really, really fast, and you know, he's able to do all this. And you know, I mean, what he was doing really wasn't all that hard. It's just juggling, right? You know, he's having to multitask, and that's what makes it hard. So okay, let's move on here. Let's see. Bobby, I'm going to go ahead and mute you again. Sorry. Just because that echoing is really loud. It's really, really loud. So, yeah, you know, I thought it was kind of funny, too. Fraser several times commented, you know, that he really doesn't like nebulae, gaseous nebulae, but he kept taking images of gaseous nebulae. So here's one. I don't remember exactly what this one was, but again, you know, kind of a long exposure, so you're seeing a lot of sky background, but we're also looking, you know, well into the disk of the galaxy. So yes, indeed, these are all stars, all of them. But you can see the nebulosity here too. Nice color. Nice color. Lots of nebulosity here, you know, fainter, right? And just a lot of stars. A lot of stars. You know, they're looking right into the Milky Way, so not too surprising. Now, I think this is M10. He tried, you know, to look at M10, and here, you know, the focus is definitely kind of not too great. Sort of overexposed in the middle, so, you know, but absolutely gorgeous though. Really, really, really nice globular cluster there. Really nice. So let's see. Okay, so here's the Eagle Nebula. Is that M16, M17? I forget. Help me out with that. Somebody. Noisy. But
So Cosmic, a little bit better. I switched it to the USB mode.
yes. Yes. I can actually hear you now, and that's all I can hear. I can hear me in the background a little bit, but there's no there's no robot voice or anything like that. So USB mode it is. So yeah, a little bit of noise, right? That is completely expected. These are raw images, so you're going to have a little bit of noise and stuff, but really, really nice. And of course, there's a cluster here too, right? There's a cluster that is actually lighting up this nebula. And here are the so-called, pillars of creation here, right? So very, very cool. Very nice. Very nice. A little bit of funny glow here. And look, there's a cluster here too. Isn't that cool? Lots of stars. At least a couple. So very cool. Here's the Trifid Nebula and its associated cluster as well. So that turned out really, really well. Nice color, right? This was like right next to the moon, or sort of in the proximity of the moon. So that's why the background here looks so bright, but getting great color, right? And again, with the focus, you probably sharpen that up a little bit, but not bad. Not bad at all. I think this was a pretty long exposure too, but yeah, this is nice blue, nice reds, some dark dust lanes in there. And again, there are stars inside of this nebula that are making it glow. So there's a little bit of reflection, a little bit of emission. So here's a cluster up here too. So yeah, but you can sort of see that the background is a little bright, and that's mainly because of the moon, right? You got some hysteresis here, maybe. So, but yeah, awesome, very, very awesome. Gorgeous objects, of course. Here's M8, the Lagoon Nebula. Very awesome, of course. And again, it's a cluster inside of some gas and dust that's making it all glow. So the Lagoon and the Trifid are pretty near each other, and they're both over in the Sagittarius area.
Okay. So to clarify Uncle Bill Duran's, I'm using the USB mode on the microphone and the Bluetooth mode for the output for the speakers and stuff.
El Cheapo Bluetooth speakers, yeah. Wow. Okay, so it ran until like 1 a.m. Eastern. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I dropped out. I think I dropped out about. Oh, I think I dropped out a little bit after what would have been like about maybe 1:20 Eastern time or so. So yeah. Tom dropped out about the same time, I guess. So yeah. Okay, so I think this was maybe M12. I think he went over to M12, which is actually right next to M10. So the same region of the sky. And of course, another globular cluster there. Very nice. Very, very nice. I like it. Here's the Veil Nebula, at least a part of it. And that's up in Cygnus. And, you know, pretty good, right? Pretty good. Seeing a lot of structure there. A lot of, you know, fine detail. Really, really nice. This is a supernova remnant. Let's see what else they got. Yeah, I think they were aiming for something here, and I don't remember, but it's just a pretty amazing star field. Again, I'm not quite sure what this glow is. Not quite sure. It could be some kind of an internal reflection caused by the moon. Yeah, hard to tell. Hard to tell exactly what's going on there. You know, I mean, these things aren't flat fielded. They aren't dark subtracted or anything. These are just the raw images, right? Right off the scope. So you're going to see all kinds of weird optical effects, right? Let's see. Let's keep going here. Oh, I don't know what. Oh, yeah. This is another nebula that Fraser hates, although he kept taking pictures of nebulae, which I thought was pretty funny. He called this the Elephant Nebula, I think. Nice color, you know, noisy, but pretty nice. Pretty nice. Here's the Planetary Nebula. Don't remember what the NGC number was, but they call it, you know, the blue snowball. And as you can see, you know, a lot of planetary nebulae actually look like this, right? They look like sort of a big star, right? See, so these are all stars. That looks like a big star, but it's actually a planetary nebula, right? This is an expanding shell of gas and dust. It's expanding out from a star that's buried somewhere in the middle there. And it's small because it's pretty far away, right? And maybe a little bit small just intrinsically, right? Let's look at the original. Can we do that? Okay, it's pretty much the same. Again, you know, the focus here isn't all that great, but yeah, absolutely nice, right? And you know, this is sort of a good example of why they're called planetary nebulae too, because you know, this looks like a planet, right? I mean, it looks like Neptune or something, right? It's this extended disk, sort of uniform and round, right? So yeah, at least at first, you know, they were thought to be planets, hence the name. Turns out that they're not. Let's see, what else did they do? More nebulae that Fraser hates. A couple of stars here and there. Makes me dizzy. Here's what I think he called the Pac-Man Nebula. I guess, you know, because of the round thing here and sort of the open mouth here. Again, you know, there's a cluster associated with these that makes all this stuff glow. Nice shot. So here's, of course, Andromeda. They were all excited about Andromeda. Here's what came off the telescope. Fraser liked this one quite a bit, you know, because you could see all the details of the dark bands in here and all of that. And then he just sort of goosed up the brightness and contrast and got that. So this is the same image, right? Exactly the same image, just goosed up brightness and contrast a little bit.
And this is an Andromeda, right?
This is the Andromeda Galaxy, yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, so this is actually the Andromeda Galaxy. These are two companion galaxies, right? So this is Messier 32 and Messier 110. So yeah, in one shot, you can get 3 Messier objects: M31, M32, and M110. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, it's a gorgeous galaxy. Not my favorite galaxy, though. Not even close. But it sure is pretty. And it's bright and it's big. Everybody gets excited about it. For good reason. I like the Carl Sagan shades. If you folks haven't seen or heard Glorious Dawn, I should get a link to that. It's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, that is very great. Is that like Carl Sagan on that picture?
That is Carl Sagan with some shades on. Yeah, I mean, it's been photoshopped and
yeah, it's still cute though.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And if you haven't seen or heard that video, I will post that. Let's see. Can I do that? I can do that. Let's do it. I'm just going to post the link, and then you all can find it, right? Glorious Dawn. Glorious Dawn. This one right here. So I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to grab the link. See, we'll do that, and then I'll stop it. I'm just going to grab the link and put it in the chat, so you guys can grab it. But take a listen to this at your leisure. Here you go. Great. It's very, very awesome. And this person, I think, has done a few of these videos. So, you know, check them out for sure. For sure. So, yeah, here's some more nebulae. Not quite sure what that one is.
The next time you see Skylias is being live, ask him if he can run Space Engine Online on Linux.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what platforms that actually runs on. I know that it's a resource hog, but that's all I really know about it. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't all that impressed with it. So here's just another shot showing a cluster and some kind of nebulosity. It's a nice, dense cluster of stars here, though. Got some variety in terms of color, right? I see some reds in there, some blues. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. They took a picture of the moon. They tried, I guess, to look at Saturn, but you know, because the field of view was so wide, right? This scope really wasn't tuned for planets. I guess they have a telescope over in Texas that's going to be more of a planetary scope, a narrower field of view, and so. Yeah, I guess that's supposed to be coming online soon. Here's M33. That's a nice one. nice spiral, pretty close to the Andromeda galaxy. Now, in a really, really, really dark sky, you can actually see this.
I like to say things I can build Durin for the advice about trying to run space engine on a wine.
Here's the double cluster. So these two clusters of stars aren't actually next to one another in space, right? One of them is sort of nearer to us, and the other one is further away. But again, because of our line of sight, it sort of looks like they're next to one another. This is a great binocular view. So if you have a pair of binoculars, it's over. It's actually in the constellation of Perseus, but that's over by Cassiopeia. So you can actually see this naked eye too, if you know where to look. But okay, so here's like a full resolution image. So there's one cluster, and there's the other one. And yeah, now you can really, really see that if you look really carefully at these fainter stars here, they're actually like disks, right? So yeah, focus. But this is a fantastic view. So absolutely fabulous. Nice color, right? We're seeing lots of color in here, blues and reds. Yeah. And the sky background, this is sort of not near the moon, so yeah, not so much of a problem with that. Here's the Helix Nebula, the Dumbbell, another nice planetary nebula. And here's the central star there, out of focus. I don't mean to harp on that, but yeah. They'll work that out, no problem. And I guess there was a quasar here. I don't know if that's it. I'm not quite sure which one it was. Maybe that one. It's hard to tell. So yeah, a very, very, very successful event for sure. So the other thing that I wanted to point out, and I'm going to check my chat here. Actually, let me go over to Cal Sky here, because that's where I guess we're going to go next. Should we do that next? Yeah, let's do that one next. I'm going to check the chat really quick. Okay, cool. Thanks, Uncle Bill. So yeah, I was alerted to the fact that there is a comet that is getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and it's actually a binocular object now, and definitely a telescope object now. It's Comet 21P Giacobini-Zinner, and that comet is actually sort of near and dear to my heart because that was the first comet that I ever observed. I was probably, I don't know, maybe 11 or so when I saw it. And it was the first comet I ever saw ever. And of course, I was able to look at it through a telescope too, my telescope. So what I wanted to do was wanted to get the ephemeris here. So the only downside to observing Giacobini-Zinner is that it's sort of a morning object. You're going to have to get up a little bit early in order to see it. So here is the ephemeris for the next month or so. And as you can see, magnitude right now, at least predicted magnitude right now, is 7.2, and it looks like it's going to be brightening up to about magnitude 6.7 or so. So it's going to brighten up, a little bit more, and it's going to get faint again. This is sort of where it's closest to the Earth. They actually have a little orbit diagram, which I'm going to change. Can I change that? Yeah, let's just do a regular 2D projection. They have this 3D thing. Let's just look at it in 2D. Chunk, chunk, chunk. Yeah, so there's sort of its path. It's, I can't really interpret if this is where it is right now relative to the Earth. Probably, right? Because closest approach is going to be soon, right? I mean, the next couple of weeks, right? Today's the 23rd. I think the closest approach is around like the 12th. In fact, we can confirm that, right? This value of delta here, that is the distance from Earth. And so as you can see, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And the smallest that I see on here is somewhere around September 9th, right? When it's going to be 0.39182 astronomical units away from Earth and 1.01 astronomical units away from the Sun. So, and that's pretty close to perihelion too, which is its closest approach. So it's actually going to be closest to the Earth and closest to the Sun pretty much at the same time, which is a nice coincidence. As you can see, right, it's my local time, which is also going to be your local time, right? It's rising at midnight, right? And then transiting actually, at 7:51 in the morning. So, yeah, this is definitely a morning object, so you're going to have to get up a little bit early or stay up late. But if you've never seen a comet before, this is, magnitude 6.7 is pretty bright, right? With a pair of binoculars, you'll definitely see it. With a telescope, you'll love it. It'll be absolutely fabulous, right? So the only thing, and do they have a chart for it? Yeah, they do. I really don't like Cal Sky's charts, but let's look at it anyway. Let's see. Let's look at it for like the 8th of September here, when it's about as close and as bright as it's going to get. And as I said, I really don't like these charts. Where did it go? Is it going to appear or what? Didn't I click on the chart? Star chart. It brought me to a glossary. There it goes. So yeah, I really don't like these charts, but okay. The moon's going to be there, so that's going to be a little bit tough. But I think, is this Auriga? Let's zoom out a little bit. No, this is Orion. So yeah, it's is this it? Is this where it is? No, that's yeah, it's going to be somewhere in the center here, probably along this path, right? So it's going to be over near the constellation of Orion, right here. I'll zoom out one more so you can see the entire constellation. Hopefully, yeah. So there's its path. It's going to be around here somewhere. Not exactly sure where. As I said, I sort of don't like these charts. Actually, the Heavens Above one looked a little better to me. Let's go over there really quick. So comets are pretty cool, to see. So yeah, this isn't much better, but that's where it is right now, right? Let's change this to what, September 9th. And yeah, we'll just leave it about at the same time. Okay, so it's going to be in the constellation Auriga. So Orion is down here, right? You can just see Betelgeuse and Bellatrix here, and Auriga is to the north of that, and so Jacobini-Zinner is going to be right there, which is actually pretty close to Messier 37, right? M37 is right about here. So here's Gemini, here's Perseus over here, and that's where it's going to be. So yeah, take a look at that if you are so inclined. Cheers to Comet Jacobini-Zinner. Here's a nice orbital map too. Not exactly sure what this is. Okay, view from 90 degrees. View from Comet orbital plane. I have to understand that a little bit better. Okay, well, cool. I think, let's see, I'm going to catch up on the chat here really quick if there isn't anything else. Thank you, Uncle Bill. So I guess the only other thing that I wanted to sort of go over today was the fellow who had observed Pluto go in front of that bright star, what, about a week ago or so now? He finally reduced all of his data, calibrated it, and all that, and he came out with an actual plot of the event. And yeah, I think this is absolutely fabulous, right? I think we're seeing scintillation of the star here, right? I mean, it's being a point source here, right? So we're seeing twinkling, and then as Pluto passes in front of the star, sort of the twinkling goes away, right? I mean, there's not a lot of noise here and here. Interesting things going on, sort of mid-occultation, right? And the reason why, right, that star just doesn't drop and then there and then raise again is because Pluto has got a atmosphere. So we're actually looking at the starlight through the atmosphere of Pluto, and that's why it has this shape as opposed to just a drop and then an up like that. So yeah, there's a lot of information here, lots and lots of information. The fact that the brightness actually didn't drop all the way down to the brightness of Pluto means that we were seeing the starlight through the atmosphere of Pluto. It's very, very cool. Very cool. And yeah, lots of interesting structure here. And of course, you know, once it got past the occultation, then you see, you know, the starlight again twinkling. So very, very cool. Very cool. So I think the star itself was 13th magnitude, and Pluto is magnitude 14.6. And so that's a difference of 1.6 magnitudes, which is a factor of about 4.3. So one would expect about a 23% drop, and that's exactly what he's showing here, right? I think that's about 23% or so. Actually, what? A 77%. 77% drop. So yeah, really, really nice though. Really nice. I actually asked him, you know, if he's going to do any more detailed analysis of this or anything, because this is really good looking data. Good, nice data. Can actually tell us a lot about the atmosphere of Pluto at that time. I don't think he said anything about what wavelength he was looking at. You know, if he was doing wideband or narrow band, not exactly sure. But regardless, this is an excellent recording of this event. And you know, the fact that it lasted so long, right? I mean, it started what, maybe about 55 seconds here, 55 after. So what is that? Almost 120 seconds. Now he was over in San Diego, which was quite a bit off the central path, right? So he's not going to see a full occultation. He's going to just see a partial one, and so that's probably why he's not seeing this dip all the way down to here. And also, you know, he's looking at like a lot of the atmosphere here, for sure. So very, very cool. You could actually draw the geometry of this just using that data. You could draw the geometry of the occultation pretty easily. But yeah, very, very awesome. It's really a bummer that clouds were here, because I wouldn't have actually recorded this like this. I know now that I probably could have, though, because he was taking like 2-second exposures continuously, and I could have certainly done that easily. So yeah, I'll have to think about that in the future. You know, when there's a Pluto occultation again, I'm definitely going to set myself up with a CCD camera, and you know, so I'll have extremely similar data to this, and I will be able, you know, to do the analysis and everything. It'll be very cool. All right, well, I think, let's see, is there anything else in the chat? I'm going to stop sharing, get back over here, look at the chat really quick. Okay, yeah, I don't see anything else. So I think it looks like we're a little bit past the hour. So yeah, maybe I'll exit these waters for now, take a last big gulp of this incredible molecule here. Cheers. And thanks everybody for coming in again. Hope you have a great evening and a great day. You know, if you're new coming in, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification, make sure to hit the thumbs up if you so desire. And hey, let's do this again in about 23 hours. How about that? I'll be here. I'll be here for sure. So, all right. Well, take care, everybody. And I will see you on the spin. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Later.